What's up guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome to an extremely exciting video here today. In front of me I have this gorgeous 2015 Lamborghini Huracan LP610-4. I just want to give a huge thank you and shout out to my buddy Nate. This is his Huracan and it is recently available for rent on Turo and a couple other platforms. So I'll go ahead and link all of that contact information in the description below if you're interested in renting this Huracan in the Washington, D.C. area. This is going to be a full review and short test drive of this gorgeous Huracan. I have never had the opportunity to check out any Lamborghini for the channel, so I'm very honored and excited to check this gorgeous Huracan out here tonight. But if you guys are unfamiliar, the Huracan was Lamborghini's second entry into the supercar space in the mid to late 2010s. It was launched for the 2015 model year as a successor to the Lamborghini Gallardo, which was wildly popular with over 14,000 units sold, I believe. And the Huracan actually just ended its own production run in 2024 to now be replaced by the Technica. So two extremely special and successful models in the mid or entry-level Lamborghini segment. Now, the Huracan is extremely special as it is likely the last V10 naturally aspirated Lamborghini that will ever be made. The newest Technica that replaced this car has a twin-turbo, high-revving V8, but there's nothing that's going to replace the amazing symphony of this naturally aspirated V10. The base MSRP of the Huracan 610 back in 2015 was right around $237,000. This one is nicely equipped, so I would assume its original MSRP was over $250,000. I believe this one is finished in the standard and classically beautiful Lamborghini balloon white exterior color. You can see starting right up front here, the full LED headlights with the incredibly aggressive turn signals. That just looks absolutely incredible with the iconic Lamborghini kind of wedge shape. I think the design of the original Huracan here is the cleanest overall. The more aggressive versions like the STO and stuff are definitely more eye-catching, but I think that this original Huracan is so clean and so classically beautiful. Open the front trunk here, you can see obviously this is a mid-engine supercar. You have around 3.5 cubic feet of storage. It's actually pretty deep. You probably get maybe an overnight bag or two in there, but nothing too crazy. In the more high-performance versions of the Huracan, such as the STO, this front compartment was actually transformed into an active aerodynamic element that kind of channeled air through the upper trunk lid, so you basically lost all trunk space. I think you had like 1 cubic feet or something, which is incredible. But up in this standard Huracan, you can see it's not too bad. You have a couple pouches and stuff for the actual Lamborghini gloves and toolkit if you decide to change the flat tire on your Huracan or something. The wheels on this Huracan are not stock, but they are still a gorgeous set of 20-inch kind of split 5-spoke design here, finished in gloss black. You can see the monster 15-inch carbon ceramic rotors and 6-piston calipers on the front. As you can also tell, the Huracan is extremely low to the ground, even at stock ride height, so you do have a adjustable front lift system, which is required to get over speed bumps and stuff like that. But continuing along, you can see the Huracan is not a big car. It is actually pretty small, honestly. And obviously interior space is pretty cramped as well, which we'll talk about here in a second. I love how clean some of the design elements are on this car. You can see how the air intake is kind of molded into this C-pillar or flying buttress, if you will. You also have a lower intake right here, I believe, for an oil cooler. LP610-4 badging, and this rear tire is also massive. I believe it's a 305 section on the same gorgeous split 20-inch wheels as well, with the 4-piston carbon ceramic rotor and a 14-inch carbon ceramic rotor. I think the rear design of the Huracan is my favorite element of this entire car. You can see immediately the thin LED taillights right there. I believe they have been tinted out a little bit on this car, but you have really nice mesh grille right there to have some air come out of that naturally aspirated V10, as well as the glass engine cover, which I also believe is an option with the carbon fiber brace. We'll talk all about the engine here in a second. You can see the exhaust pipes kind of move upwards, if you will. They're kind of slanted, if you will, and I really like the way that looks. It provides an aggressive stance. Other small elements that you don't really think about but mean a lot in the design language is stuff like the gas cap. You can see it is a capless fuel filler system, but it's kind of nicely hidden into this kind of flying buttress area that we mentioned on the other side. Just small attention to detail like that really sets supercars off like that, in my opinion. In order to pop the rear engine cover on the Huracan, the accessory mode actually has to be turned on, and there's a little button down here. Hopefully you guys can see it. It's this bottom one, and once you press that, it's an electronic mechanism. You can go ahead and reach your hand underneath. It's a little bit tough to do so, but once you get your hand under there, it lifts itself up with the gas struts. Powering all Huracans is a naturally aspirated 5.2 liter V10, and the 610-4, as its name somewhat suggests, it makes 602 horsepower and around 413 foot-pounds of torque. It's connected to a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission and all-wheel drive. With launch control, this thing can do 0 to 60 in the high 2-second range, and top speed is well in excess of 202 miles an hour. Fuel economy, if you care, is rated at around 16 miles per gallon combined, but that's not why you buy a V10 Lamborghini. There are also a couple other variants of this Huracan, if you will, that came later in the production run, such as the STO and the Technica, that raised horsepower to around 640. Obviously, this engine display is stunning. You can see the dry carbon, or forged carbon, I believe Lamborghini likes to call it, with the strut tower brace, or the X brace, I guess, that gives a lot of chassis rigidity. The V10 badging with the firing order, Lamborghini on the intake manifold. It's just an incredible presentation back here. The other thing you might not know about these Huracans is that they're actually very reliable. There are Huracans well in excess of 100,000 miles on the original engines and transmissions. These things were really built solid, and this V10 came out a few years before this car debuted, and Audi and Lamborghini had a lot of time to refine it and build up its reliability. Let's go ahead and hop in the driver's seat of the Huracan, but before we do so, I'll show you guys the key. As you know, the Huracan has a lot of direct ties to the Audi R8, so it has the same exact key, but it does have the Lamborghini on the back here, as well as a different kind of ending part, if you will, with the Lamborghini Bull, which I really like. Lock, trunk release, as well as the unlock. You can go ahead and unlock the car with that button like I showed you, and the door handles pop out like so. They are kind of a flush mounted system, if you will. The interior quality on the Huracan was a huge step up, even compared to the Gallardo. You can see the Alcantara and kind of suede red stitching on the door panel. Nice soft touch materials up here. You can see all of the aluminum door handles with some piano black trim. With Lamborghini's ad personam customization program, you could basically customize or have the interior of this car look any way that you like, with a combination of leather and stitching and stuff like that. This one just has the kind of standard Alcantara suede inserts with the red contrast stitching on the door panel. What's really cool about this Huracan as well is that I believe it's signed by Valentino Balboni back in 2017. I think that's his signature. I'm not sure where it was signed, but already I think the value of this particular car has increased just because of that signature. You also have a leather wrap, gorgeous 3-spoke flat bottom steering wheel with these enormous paddle shifters, which you can also option in carbon fiber, I believe. You also have the fully digital instrument cluster, which we'll get into in a second. Taking a step inside, it is very low to the ground, and you need to watch your head from that very aggressive roof line. But once you're in, you can see visibility is also extremely limited in here, with a very kind of angled front window there. The side mirrors as well are decent, but your view out the back is basically nothing, even with the glass engine cover. Let's go ahead and put the Huracan in accessory mode first. You can see you flip up this kind of fighter jet style start-stop button and just press it once to put it in that accessory mode. Directly in front of you, like I mentioned, is the fully digital instrument cluster. It's very much based on the Audi MMI system of the period. So you can see you have almost a carbon copy of my A6 control panel right here with the navigation menu, telephone, info, back, as well as the car menu. If you go into the navigation, you can see it pulls up a very small map right there. The menu brings up kind of the circular wheel that you can use to go through the various different vehicle options. You also have the telephone, obviously, for Bluetooth, and the car menu where you can set up various vehicle settings as well. You also have a massive tachometer with an 8250 RPM red line. Trust me, this thing sounds absolutely incredible. Fuel and temperature up at the top with a vehicle door open and speedometer down in the right and bottom respectively. But like I said, as a testament to the reliability of these Huracans, this one has over 60,000 miles and it still feels solid and well built. So like I said, these things were really built to last, and a testament to Lamborghini's improved reliability over the last 10 years or so. Also, the Huracan debuted a lot of technologies for Lamborghini, such as putting all of the controls on the steering wheel for the turn signal. As you can see, you have this rocker switch right here to activate the left and the right. You press in the center to cancel. This is for the high beams right here. Windshield wipers on the right side, as well as the driving mode. You can see Strada is street, I believe. You can put it down in the sport as well as in Corsa. You can see in that disables the traction control. Continuing down the center console, you can see the climate vents right here, a couple digital gauges for oil pressure, oil temperature, as well as battery. These are the only 3 gauges you can put in this section right here. There's no customization or anything available. You have a row of rocker switches as well for the windows, the front lift, the traction control, the hazards, the parking sensor disable, excuse me, and you activate like the rockers using a kind of backward motion like so. Climate controls right here, which are pretty self-explanatory, carried over from a lot of Audi products. You have the heated seat button. Down below, you also have the controls for the Audi/Lamborghini MMI for the digital gauge cluster, which I already showed you guys. You have the fighter jet style start-stop switch right here. You can also use the button without flipping up this the cover, if you will, by just kind of pushing it like so. You have the controller for the 7-speed dual clutch. As you can see right now, we're in park. It's with the P button, obviously, manual mode, as well as the reverse switch. But without further ado, let's go ahead and fire this beast up. All you have to do is put your foot on the brake. We'll flip up the cover one more time on the start-stop switch and hit the button. As you guys can hear, this car sounds absolutely incredible. I don't want to rev it too much since we're in a parking garage here, but just a little blip of the throttle. Just absolutely incredible. Listen to this idle too back here. This is such a special car, guys, and with all that being said, let's go ahead and set the cameras up, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but take the Huracan for a test drive. All right, guys, welcome to the inside of the Huracan 610. I apologize for that camera angle, but that's one of the best I could do. This car basically has no place to mount a camera, and plus it's nighttime, so I'm trying to maximize lighting and angle for you guys, but what an occasion, what a car. I mean, Lamborghini has the reputation for being one of the most special and, exhilarating, driving experiences, and already this thing is just absolutely incredible. Obviously, the thing that dominates this whole experience is that V10. You can probably hear it already behind me making a ton of noise, but even just getting up to normal traffic speeds, it sounds incredible. The gears are also very short in this car. It just kind of rolls through them like nothing. I guess that's one of the perks of having a dual clutch. It just makes everything so livable and so easy. The thing that surprises me most about this car is, yes, it's loud, yes, it's an experience, but it's pretty easy to drive. I mean, I have it in automatic mode right now. There's not too much drama. Granted, yes, the visibility is pretty poor. I can't really see too far out of it, and if you're over 6 feet tall, like myself, you're gonna struggle seeing out of this thing, but still, for some reason, it's just easy to drive. It's small as well. It's easy to maneuver through that parking garage and stuff. It didn't feel like overwhelming or anything like that. As we're taking this on-ramp right here, there is no body roll whatsoever. I mean, we're not pushing this car or anything like that, but it feels so well planted and so stable. It has a lot of Audi DNA, and I said in my R8 review that car felt so stable. This is no exception. The all-wheel drive is very reassuring. It's sure-footed. It's planted, like I said. Just a really dynamic driving experience. The other thing is that the steering is razor sharp. This thing just maneuvers like crazy. It darts in and out of corners like absolutely nothing. It's really impressive. I think the curb weight for this thing is around 3,400 pounds. I could be wrong, but it's still pretty light by modern standards. Obviously, if you want to make a little bit of noise, you drop some gears and disappear. I mean, this car, 600 horsepower, it is not slow. I can't believe that the new Technica and stuff, and even the Temerario, however you pronounce it, have over 650, now 800 horsepower in that car. Just absolutely incredible. You really just don't need any more than this. If we go ahead and put the car down into Corsa mode, you can hear the exhaust valve changes and opens a little bit, and you can hear the burbles. Just incredible. The ride is also super firm right now. I think this has the adaptive dampers as well. I'm not even sure if, I think those exhaust burbles are factory. It's just the right amount, in my opinion, to not, I guess, be too obnoxious. Obviously, it's very loud, but it's not like too bad to where it's like constantly burbling off throttle and stuff. It's the best implementation of burbles that I've seen. As we're taking some of these tighter off ramps here, just no body roll whatsoever. You can hear that V10 come to life a little bit. The steering, like I was saying, razor sharp, no body roll whatsoever. I love these column mounted paddle shifters as well. You really don't lose track of them when you're kind of turning the wheel and stuff. I think that's a better solution than having them kind of move with the steering wheel. And I know a lot of people complain that, this is more of an Audi than it is a Lamborghini, and they have a point. There's a lot of carryover parts that I mentioned on the interior, but it just makes the car better, in my opinion. It really makes it more solid, well built, like I said. So I really don't think it's a knock. They really over-engineered this car to last, and
You know, like I said, this one has over 60,000 miles and it's still running very strong. If you guys can't already tell, I am having an absolute blast driving this car. As I said when we first hit the road, this thing is such an occasion. It really makes you feel so special, and that V10 is one of the major elements of that, you know, whole occasion, if you will. You can probably hear already as well, my voice is trembling a little bit because of how stiff this ride is. And of course, we're hitting a little bit of tougher pavement right here. So you definitely feel that this thing is tightly sprung and ready to hit the track pretty much at any point. But nonetheless, you know what you're expecting getting into this car, and it's really, really special. And it's an honor for me to have driven this car here tonight. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed this full tour and review of this very special Lamborghini Huracan 610-4. Once again, huge thank you and shout out to Nate, the owner of this car. Like I said, it is available for rent on Turo and a couple other platforms. So I'll go ahead and link all of that contact information in the description box below. But if you did enjoy this video, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe for a ton of great content coming very soon. And I'll catch you in the next one.